The morning after my wedding should have felt magical. Instead, I remember standing barefoot in my kitchen, staring at 3 black luxury cars parked outside our new home, and realizing my husband had lied to me. Not about another woman, not about love, about money, a dangerous amount of money. Exactly 24 hours earlier, I had looked into Ethan's eyes while we danced under golden lights and whispered, "Promise me your mother never finds out about the inheritance." He smiled softly and squeezed my hand. "Claire," he said, "I'd never let anyone hurt us." I believed him. That was my first mistake. You see, my grandfather had passed away 6 months before the wedding. He built a private investment company from nothing and left me everything, $200 million. Even writing that number still feels unreal. But the money never changed me. I still drank cheap coffee, still forgot to water my plants, still cried during old movies. I never wanted a glamorous life. I only wanted peace and someone who loved me without seeing dollar signs. That's why I kept the inheritance secret from almost everyone, especially Ethan's family. His mother, Victoria, terrified me from the moment we met. She carried herself like a queen, who believed the world owed her something. Every conversation somehow became about status, money, or power. "This neighborhood is small for my son," she once said, while inspecting my apartment like a hotel reviewer. Ethan would always laugh it off. That's just mom being mom. But deep down, I knew something darker lived behind her smile. The night before our wedding, I sat beside Ethan on the balcony of our hotel suite, the city lights reflected in his eyes, while I held the documents proving the inheritance had officially transferred into my name. "I don't trust your mother," I whispered. He sighed. "Claire, I'm serious. If she finds out about the money, everything will change." He took my hands gently. "She'll never know." I wanted to believe him so badly. And for one beautiful night, I did. Our wedding felt perfect. White roses covered the garden. My father cried during the ceremony. Ethan looked at me like I was the only woman alive. For a few hours, I forgot fear completely, until the next morning. The sound of car doors slamming outside made my stomach tighten. I walked to the window slowly, still wearing Ethan's oversized shirt. Then I saw them. Victoria, her 2 brothers, their lawyers, and 6 large suitcases, being carried toward our front door. Turned toward Ethan. His face had gone pale. That's when I understood. He told her, and whatever was about to happen had already been planned. Victoria walked into my home like she owned it. No greeting, no smile, just cold perfume and sharper eyes. "Well," she said, while looking around, "this place will do temporarily." I stared at Ethan, waiting for him to explain. He couldn't even look at me. "Ethan," I whispered, "what is this?" Victoria answered before he could. "Family," she said. "Moving in." My chest tightened so hard it felt painful. "What?" She placed designer sunglasses onto the table and sat down comfortably. "Don't act confused, dear. Ethan told us about the inheritance. Naturally, family should protect family assets." Assets. That was the word she used for my grandfather's life work. I looked at Ethan again, hoping, praying he would stop this. Instead, he quietly said, "Maybe it's better this way for now. For now." Those 3 words shattered something inside me. I suddenly remembered all the strange moments during our relationship. The rushed engagement, Victoria suddenly becoming nicer after months of criticizing me, Ethan insisting we sign a temporary shared financial agreement after marriage. I had ignored every warning because I loved him, and love can blind intelligent people faster than anything else. The next few days became unbearable. Victoria took over the house completely. She criticized my clothes, my cooking, even the way I spoke. "You're too emotional to manage this level of wealth," she would say while sipping expensive wine I paid for. Her brothers began discussing investments at my dining table as if my money already belonged to them. And Ethan? He changed overnight. The man who once held me during panic attacks now avoided eye contact. Every conversation became about finances, partnerships, and future planning. One night, I overheard Victoria talking to him in the hallway. "You married perfectly," she whispered proudly. "Once the accounts are merged, she won't have control anymore." I stopped breathing. Merged accounts, control. That's when the truth finally hit me. This wasn't love. It was a business deal, and I was the target. That night, I locked myself in the bathroom and cried silently into a towel, so nobody would hear me breaking apart. I kept thinking about my grandfather. He used to tell me, "Money doesn't destroy people, Claire. It reveals them." Now I finally understood. The next morning, Ethan approached me carefully. "You've been distant," he said softly. I laughed bitterly. "Distant? Your family moved into my house and started planning my financial future, like I'm already dead." He rubbed his forehead. "You're overreacting." "No," I said quietly. "I'm finally seeing clearly." For the first time, fear crossed his face, because the weak, heartbroken woman they expected was disappearing, and someone stronger was taking her place. But what they didn't know that day was that my grandfather prepared me for betrayal long before any of this happened. You see, the inheritance wasn't simple. There were conditions, legal, protections, hidden clauses, and one final document nobody except my lawyer knew existed. A document that would change everything overnight. 3 days later, Victoria organized a family dinner in my own house. Candles glowed across the table while her relatives laughed loudly about vacation homes and future investments, using my money, planning my future without me. I sat quietly at the end of the table, listening carefully, while Ethan avoided my eyes. Again. Then Victoria raised her glass. "To family, prosperity," she announced proudly. Everyone smiled. That's when I stood up. "I have something to share too," I said calmly. The room became silent. I placed a folder onto the table. My lawyer stepped into the dining room behind me. Victoria's confident smile disappeared instantly. "What is this?" Ethan asked nervously. I looked directly at him. "The truth." My lawyer opened the folder carefully. "As part of Mr. Bennett's inheritance structure," he explained, "all assets remain fully protected under a private trust. No spouse or extended family member has access, ownership, or legal influence." Victoria frowned. "That's impossible." "It's very possible," my lawyer replied calmly. "Additionally, any attempt to manipulate or pressure the beneficiary financially results in immediate investigation and permanent removal from all associated trusts." The room froze. I watched Ethan's face lose all color. Then came the final blow. "There's more," my lawyer continued. "Mrs. Claire Bennett documented multiple conversations regarding financial coercion. Those recordings have been legally archived." Victoria stood up violently. "You recorded us." "No," I said quietly. "You exposed yourselves." Ethan finally spoke. "Claire, please. We can fix this. Fix this." After destroying my trust, less than 24 hours after our wedding. I looked at the man I once loved and realized something painful. Sometimes the person who breaks your heart isn't a stranger. It's the person who promised to protect it. Victoria began shouting about betrayal, lawyers, and lawsuits. Her brothers grabbed their coats angrily, but none of it mattered anymore. Because for the first time since my wedding day, I wasn't afraid. Within an hour they were gone, suitcases loaded back into the cars, voices fading into the night, and Ethan? He stood near the front door silently, while rain poured outside. I did love you, he whispered. I believed part of him probably did, but not enough. Love without loyalty becomes something dangerous. Before leaving, he looked at me one last time. I never thought you'd fight back. I swallowed the ache in my throat. That's because you confused kindness with weakness. Then I closed the door. For weeks afterward, the house felt painfully quiet. I cried often. Some nights I replayed every memory, wondering which moments were real. But slowly, peace returned. I renovated the house, started funding charities my grandfather cared about, and little by little, I rebuilt myself too, not as a broken woman, but as a wiser one. Because betrayal changes you. It teaches you that some people enter your life carrying love, while others arrive carrying hunger. And sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's surviving beautifully after someone expected you to collapse.